Yes, I can. Good morning, Fernando. How do you do this morning?
Good evening, Eti. I'm fine, thank you. Shana Tova, Happy New
Shana
Year for
Shana
you and
Tova.
Rodrigo,
Thank you for the friends, for everyone. Toda. Thank you for
for the
joining
friends.
us this morning. How is the
Yes,
weather today, Fernando, in Brazil?
it is pretty hot here where I am now, but it has some wind, so it is good. But it's pretty hot. The sun is very strong, the light. So, but I'm finding a place with shadow to stay and to listen to the class. Thank you, Eti. And
Thank you.
how it is on Haifa?
It is good. Today there's like kind of a mist. It's not that cold, but there's a mist in the air, like clouds and haze and a bit of dust, and it's a bit frosty. But it's okay. It is like a bridging day. It is very interesting day. It like combines the former year and this year, so it's like a foggy day. It's unknown. It's not clear. You don't have a clear landscape, so to speak.
Great, good to hear this.
Thank you so much. And do you have an access to the whiteboard, Fernando?
I'm finding a place yet, Eti, and soon I will have.
Good, good. I hope that soon Rodrigo will have a connection, like voice connection, because at the moment I don't see his microphone. I can see that he's logged into the class, but I cannot see his microphone operating or open. So I hope he would be able to join us by voice. And I see there's also another person on YouTube. Good morning, Happy New Year, Shana Tova, everyone. We shall read one verse today from Song of Songs, chapter 1, verse 6. I see Rodrigo on the whiteboard. Rodrigo, do you have a sound? I do hope that you'll have a sound somewhere in the near future. Fernando, do you see the verse or it is not coming yet?
No, now is the moment that I just sat down. I was walking to a place, and I am opening. I will need some minutes, Eti, to access.
Good.
To get the access.
Take your time in the shade, in the cooling space. And here Venus is writing, Happy New Year. Thank you for another class, Love, Song of Songs. So we have a Happy New Year from Venus. We are so happy to see you here, Venus. Good morning from all of us, Shana Tova, everyone. And soon we shall read one verse from Song of Songs. And we have time, we can look at the painting. This painting is from the 18th century. Let's read one verse and see what is happening here and how the verse might be connected to the painting if we have an open mind. So, Song of Songs, chapter 1, verse 6. I hope the verse can be seen also on YouTube. I will lower here, I will orient the screen that it will appear fully here on YouTube for those who are watching from YouTube. Here. Look not upon me that I am swarthy, meaning dark, that the sun has tanned me. My mother's sons were incensed against me. They made me keeper of the vineyards, but my own vineyard have I not kept. This is the verse from Song of Songs. Fernando, do you see the verse?
Yes, I'm looking now.
Can you please read it in English because your English is better than mine?
No, it's not. It's not at all. But I could listen it and it was great. You're reading it.
So there is a speech here. What does the speaker say? What is she saying?
She's asking to not look upon her.
Yes.
Because she was swarthy.
Yes.
Because of the sun.
Because of the sun. So don't look at me that I'm darkened because the sun tanned me. Now let's look at this painting. Do you see the painting, Fernando? Venus,
Yeah.
do you see? So in general, a few sentences, let's describe what do we see here. In general, before we make a connection to the verse and to Luria, what do we see here?
We can see a young woman and a maiden, maybe,
Yes.
taking care of her, dressing her in front of the window to the sunlight.
Yes.
And we can see a guitar, and we can see a hat to expose to protect the sunlight. And
Fernando, can you repeat, because the connection has been cut? Can you repeat what you were just saying?
It seems that we can see a hat to protect
Yes.
from the sun, and,
Yes.
and maybe this is her bedroom or the attic of the house. I'm not sure.
Yes, that's true. Now, what do you see on the floor next to the guitar?
Next to the guitar.
Here, do you see the cursor? Or maybe you cannot see
Yeah,
the cursor.
Yes, because but I'm looking through my mobile, so it is
Oh,
very very little the image.
little. There is a broom on the floor next to the guitar, under the guitar, in almost 90-degree angles. There is a broom on the floor. So when we look at this painting, to whom the guitar might be related, to whom the broom might be related? This is a general question.
I think that the guitar is to the lady, to the white lady, and the groom is to the maiden, to the one who is taking care of her, maybe.
Yes, yes. This is interesting because the how do you say, the maid is also in a way wider and darker than the lady she's taking care of or trying to help her get dressed. Now let's see what Luria is writing about this verse. Here there is a quote from Luria, Sefer Alikutim, the collection book, in which we have collection of verses that Luria opens. And good morning, Joanne. We're very happy that you're here. Happy New Year. And let's see what Luria is writing. Al tir'uni she'ani shecharchoret. Don't look at me and don't see me that I am dark, and so on, continues the verse. Da, no. Because when there is no deeds to Israel, what is no deeds to Israel? When there are not good deeds that Israel, the souls, are doing. Israel is a general name to the soul, to the tree of life. So please know, when there are no deeds to Israel, meaning to the soul, then the kingdom returns to be in the secret of a dot of a darkened yod. Do we understand what he was saying?
Yes.
What was he saying?
It is interesting.
I would like to write when you speak. Please, Fernando, speak, because I would like to write, describe it.
I think that he's speaking that when we do not take action, when we do not make good deeds for the soul, it retrains itself to the secret. This is what I understood. It is something like when we are working with the soul, she can stay in Malchut. But when we do not make good deeds, she stays on the Sod, on Yesod.
Yes,
So,
yes. When we don't make like good deeds or relating to the soul or connect the soul to good deeds, the Malchut returns to be only a dot, a spot, a dark spot. And upon this, it is said, and for it, it has been said, and now there is a coloration of yellow, אל תראוני שאני שחרחורת. Don't see me or don't look at me that I'm darkened, meaning only in my potential. This is why you don't attain me. And this is the secret, Zain Samech, Ze Sod. I will open now the colors, 1 second. Ze Sod, Zain Samech, whenever we see Zain Samech, Ze Sod. This is a secret. Ze Sod. Ze Sod. Lachmi, my bread. There is lechem. This is bread. Lachmi with yod. My bread. Lechem yod. והגבורה, and the גבורה, the overcoming, is the power or the potential of doing what he says. Holy blessed he. They make the yod hey. Those who overcome in their good deeds make the yod into the letter hey. This is the meaning of Gevurah. Do we understand?
yes.
Everyone has the potential. But the potential is like a dark spot, black dark spot, which is not illuminated in our deeds. But only to those, or not to those, the quality of Gevurah, of overcoming, manage, or what is the power of the potential of Gevurah in ourselves, is to do what the Holy Blessed He writes or says, to develop the potential, to take out the potential. And then, what does the Gevurah? Takes out the potential, and the yod, the forgotten yod, dark potential, becomes hey. Do we understand that?
Yes.
It's not about a lady who sat in the sun and got suntan. It's not about sitting in the summer under umbrella and getting too much sunlight. This is not it. It's about the letters. Song of Songs speaks about the letters or the qualities in us. Now, Venus is asking, what is link between Gevurah and bread?
Good question.
There is bread in general. And there is my bread, lachmi, the bread of God. What is the bread of God? First of all, this is a question, and then we can move slowly to Venus' question. What is the bread of God? Please pay attention. My bread. Yes, Venus, I see. As she said. So, what is my bread? Lechem is bread. 3 letters. There is bread in general, and there is my bread, lachmi, the bread of the holy, blessed He. What is the difference in terms of only now letters without meaning? What is the difference?
yod.
The yod. What turns the general bread into my bread is the yod. Now, lechem is not just bread, it also holds the letters of a war or a battle. Lechem,
Yes.
or, milchama. Milchama, God says, go fight with my bread, with my spirit, milchama. So, how, and now we return to Venus' question, what is the link between Gevurah and bread? My bread. My bread. This is the question. What does the quality of Gevurah give us?
Overcome.
Overcome what?
The struggle, the difficulty.
Yes, yes. And Gevurah gives us the ability to turn general lechem into the holy bless he bread. Because there is a manifestation we manage, or the Gevurah managed to manifest the yod. And now it becomes to my bread. We have to, in a way, holds in us a lot of overcoming to turn the potential, into action.
The wheat into bread.
The wheat into bread. And this is what God wants. And this is my bread. This is the bread that I meant that you will eat. So everything is prepared, but like for a baby, we need to stand on our own feet and to walk for it. It is prepared, but we have to reach it. And this is my bread. This is the bread that I, so to speak, God, it does not eat or something, but this is the meaning of the verse.
And Eti,
Yes.
if I may ask you and share one thing, because it is on the air, about the black lady, because the black lady in the text, because just yesterday I was reading a book from Marie-Louise von France that is, the name is Cat, a story. And it is interesting because she speaks about the Black Madonna, like the symbolism of the Dark Lady. And here in Brazil, it is a Catholic country, but we have a Black Madonna as, in the Brazilian tradition, the Black Madonna is the symbol of the protector of the country, let's say. So they take the image of Maria, but it's a Black Maria, right? And some people speaks that, okay, maybe the church got fired because they found a Black Madonna here. The church got fired and the Madonna got black, or the people are mostly black, colored by the sun. So maybe to identify with the figure, the people turned the Madonna into black. So for my surprise, I was reading yesterday this book from Marie-Louise von France, and she speaks about the Black Madonna because also in Switzerland, that, they do not have any relation with this idea of the color of the skin. They also had a Black Madonna, in some churches, and she make a lot of relations, symbolic relations with this idea, because it's much, much, much farther from the Christian tradition. It goes long, long, long time before it So it is a symbol that manifests for itself. It is not chosen, it is something that is there. And now you open this verse that is, don't look at me because I am with my skin blacked from the sun, and this relation with Yesod. So I am wondering here, putting on the table these ideas, because when we look at the end point, like what I was saying, the images of the Black Madonna that we have here in Brazil, especially in the Jewish tradition and from what we read from the Torah, it could be seen as something idolatry, something very materialized and idolatry. But when we look it symbolically, when we do not look at what is happening in the material, but we are looking at some idea that is hovering, we can open it. We can leave behind this struggle with the manifested and look at the symbol, right? So I am just wondering, because you open it here about the idea of the Yod and the Hey, that I found it amazing. But I am just thinking it about this Black Madonna. What could we think about this? Because I'm sorry, I know that I'm talking too much, but just one last thing. Marie-Louise von France speaks that this Black Madonna was the one who protects the one who goes to the sea, who goes to the one unconscious, who takes a boat that she puts as a vessel and goes to the sea, And this Black Madonna is the one who protects the sailor man and the one who wants to go to the unknown. So I'm just wondering here, how can we connect this?
Thank you for this great question. I'm reminded now of a few things, but the major is the Cushite woman that Moses was taken. Do you remember?
Yes.
That Aaron and Miriam and Aaron were speaking about the Cushite woman. Cushite, they say she's a dark woman, but we explained once that Cushite, Kushia in Aramaic means question. So Moses was living behind the known, so to speak. Tzipporah is like a bird, and bird tweets in the morning. So he left behind the known and went to the unknown. This is a Cushite woman, or the question, or what is not yet been revealed to men. This is what comes to me. The Black Madonna, we can think about it as the assembly of Israel. Yes, because Moses, so to speak, left Zipporah, his bodily life. He was removing his shoes. Shoes is the body, because the shoe holds, so to speak, the body. So remove the shoes, the conversation in the burning bush, to remove your shoes. So remove the bodily life. And also Tzipporah, where the children are moving, and he takes upon himself to live with the question, to live with the paradox, to live with the unknown.
Nice.
With the Kushite,
wow.
With the Kushite
Yes.
woman. So we have this too. Another perspective could be perceived is that it's not about people, it's about situation. We have here the dark is the vessel. We have always relation between the vessel and the light. I'll try to write it here with an orange color. Maybe it will be seen on the painting. The maid, in a way, is, what is the maid? It's not about the maid.
The black. Yes.
Yes, the vessel, and in a way, it's not about the lady, but
Yes, yes, yes,
yes,
yes, yes.
yes,
I understood. Yes.
orot vekelim, light and a vessel. So we have here vessel, the darkness, and this is the light. Not because she is white and dark.
It is beautiful. And the light is new, it is younger.
Yes,
It
yes.
is.
If there is no vessel, the light could not dwell inside. There is a condition. What has to come first?
The vessel.
The
The light.
vessel.
Yeah.
Yes, the vessel has to come
Yeah.
first. This is
Yes.
why in the painting we see, maybe now at the telephone you cannot see, but under the guitar there is a broom lying on the
Yes.
floor,
To
horizontal.
make the condition.
To make,
Yes.
yes, yes,
To make it clean, right?
yes, yes. If there is no vessel, there is no light. Bala Sulam says something very interesting. We cannot speak about the light unless if there's a vessel. The light can be distinguished only when there's a vessel. Otherwise, we have no perception in the light whatsoever.
It is amazing. And Eti,
Yes, I can hear you. I can hear. Do you hear?
yes, just following one more insight that I took from this book that I was reading yesterday, because Mary von Franz was talking about the Black Madonna and the Madonna and the story of Maria, right, in the Christian tradition. And she quoted Evangelium from James, from Tiago in our, that is not one of the four books, right? It is it is not dogmatic, right? It was left behind. It's the only book that speaks a little bit more about the story of Maria, and this story, and in this story, it says that Maria was very young and she was prepared in the temple to be virgin and everything. So they took Joseph to be her husband, right? Because he was a old man and could not do anything to harm her. So it is Joseph, and she was her father was Joachim, like the son of Jose Rodrigo. Okay, she was speaking here, and people tend to take it as something literal, But if we think that is the vessel, she represents, it is a story to speak about the vessel that is Maria. And her husband was Joseph, that is Yesod, right? Joseph is the same name.
Yes.
And her father was Joachim, that we have the four letters of the divine name, right?
Yes.
And from this marriage came the Savior, the Messiah for the Christian tradition. It is quite, if we do not take it literally, if we just take it as like you said, like an event or a condition, to take a holy vessel, a pure vessel, like just we speak it up that it was needed to be clean, a clean vessel that is married with Joseph, that is elder from her, because the light is infinite and do not age,
Excellent.
And from this marriage came what saves us. So it seems that our duty here is to clean up the vessel, is to clean up and to make it, to make this vessel suitable for the light, right?
Yes.
Because the salvation occurs from this marriage, right? From this.
True. This is true. It is very beautiful. Also,
Yeah.
virgin. Yes, yes, yes. Please
No,
continue.
please continue
No,
it.
please. Please say.
No, I was just one more thing that I was thinking about this text of Ravi Zakluria, that he speaks about to not look, and to not look is to listen. Maybe you need to listen instead of looking.
Yes,
No,
because to look is to like to be out and about, and listening. The ear is built in a way to go inside. The eyes are built. Human eyes is to look outside. This is also why we have how do you say eyelids, yes, to cover. But the ear is always open. Even when we sleep, the ear is always open. So to listen how we can develop the potential. Because the soul, Israel, like he calls it here, is always, the potential is always there. But sometimes we're not awakened to notice. And we say, it's another day, so I just do repetition. Repetition, by the way, says Philon, repetition is the working, so to speak, of a maid. She repeats all the time. And the lady, so to speak, the spirit, notice, or the virtue, it can be different. Something new can come. Something new can come every moment, and she's ready all the time. In a way, and this is what brings us also to the question of Rodrigo once. He asked me about the dibah, the bad speech, so to speak, that Joseph was bringing to his father. And I explained him that dibah is not just, so to speak, a bad speech, but or gossip. This is what people speak or say because they don't have recognized of the higher, so they speak of the manifested. But this is a completely different lesson, or a story or a conversation. Yes, but the maid, it is interesting because there are many perspectives. The maid is in a person always in a way is discouraged. Oh, again, the same day, I have to go in a traffic jam, I have to do again and again, and it's the same thing, it's mechanic. But the lady, the Holy Spirit in us says, no, no. Every moment we are being born. Every moment is a new birth, if we notice it. So it's like, in a way, the two angels, we could look at it in a different angle. Those could be two different perspectives. The angels which are ascending and descending. The descending says everything is going to be the same repetition. The ascending says no, we can transfer every moment. Every moment we can transfer. Every moment. And he continues. He says, then the Yod expands into letter Hey. And this is what it's written, Shchora ani v'nava. I'm dark, but also I am humble and beautiful. Meaning, before I was dark, when I was only the letter Yod. And afterwards, I mention a place, a home, a state. I become the letter Hey. Shchora
A
ani
vessel.
venava. Yes, yes. First, I was just a drop of ink on a paper, but now I'm the letter Hey. I'm a swan. You remember? There was a European lore about the ugly,
Yes.
yes, the ugly little chick that became to be a swan. So first he's like dark and unnoticeable, but through the process he becomes to be a beautiful swan.
Yes, like the rejected is the same idea about the rejected stone of the temple.
Yes,
That
yes, this is it.
and this is our story, right, Eti? Because when we go through life, we develop our qualities to work and to be effective, to respond, to be, to present ourselves to the world as somebody with all the qualities that everybody expects. But we reject in this first part of life this little duck that is not a duck, or this stone, or this yod that is dark. And when you perceive that there is something more, you come back to rescue this spark, right?
Yes.
This little dot.
This is the Yod. This is the Yod of Yaakov. This is how do we explain the name Jacob Yaakov. 1 second, I'll move to another color to write it. 1 second. This is Yaakov. The Yod, the potential of the soul, Yod, the Yod, became attached to the heel, the lowest part. We could look at this Yod here.
Yes.
Yes. How the soul, the divine infinite soul, came to dwell here in the dust. This is us. And the soul is, she doesn't take time or space, yes? This is why we cannot notice it. The body, the sense of our body or other people's bodies or animals, the sense of visualization is so exaggerated that we are being lured to think that what we see is the only thing, and it is not. Who manifest those liveliness in the humans and animals and the trees and so on. So the potential is always hidden. The potential is the Yod, is the 10 spheres, but they are hiding. We find it also in this dark tents, Ohalei Kedar. We shall find it, this description in Song of Songs, the dark tent. Ohalei Kedar. Kedar in English is the same letter as dark. And the soul is always like minimizing itself. And we see just body move, somebody buys a car, somebody buys a house, and we think, wow, he's a big man, he makes business, and nobody sees who's animated this body, who gives this body thoughts and so on. So this is the soul. And in a way we are asked in our lives to take this little drop that we barely notice and to develop it, to bring the malchut, to Bina. And this is the quality of Gevurah that Venus was asking before. So, to develop, to rise the malchut, and to bring it to Bina, to understanding. And while the process of understanding is in a way with a lot of overcoming. Like to make a bread. There's first you have to plant the wheat in the ground, and then to pray here for rain, that the rain will come on time, and not just come on time, on the right portion, with the right spaces between the rains, and not too much and not too little, and then there will be enough sun, and the seed will grow, and then harvest, and it's a long process until we see a bread. Yes.
And just yesterday, before yesterday, in fact, I was making some hummus here and a pita bread for the family. And to make bread, you need to put your hand in the flour. You know, it is not possible to make bread without working, without taking time and wait to get bigger, and to literally put your hands dirty. I'm putting on commas here, but to put your hands on work, you know, you need to work, you need to make it.
Yes, this is the 10 fingers. It's interesting.
Yes.
Because the yod, the 10 fingers, we make the dough for the bread. Yes, this is it. In the same manner, the soul of 10 spheres is like giving its potential to us, that we could live here in this life, be manifested, animated, and so. Yes, in the same manner that our fingers touching the dough, and then the dough can expand and be round, and we can put it in the oven. Yes, so it's the same process. It is. Any questions, Fernando, Joanne, Venus, questions or thoughts that you would like to share? Yes, Joanne is saying that Egypt was known as the land of Ham, which means black. Yes. Yes.
Or where the potential is not developed. Right?
Yes, yes. Only the manifested is developed. Yes, very good. Very good.
It is amazing. It is really amazing to think about Yaakov as the Yod in the Ekev, and this idea of development and to become Israel. And we feel this, you know, like what yesterday Rodrigo spoke, that he had his moment of looking at the nature and seeing beyond the nature. Because even in the nature, you can be blind for the beauty, you know, it is possible to not look at the beauty, you know, think that everything is given and it is what it is, you know. But when you have the sensibility, you can search for this yod, that is a principle, that is something that is beyond what is manifested.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, this is it. This is it. It is very interesting what you're saying, because at the moment there's like a recession in the world. Just I'm moving to another realm, and people look at it, oh, recession, but people don't look beyond it, beyond this moment that they claim that numbers are even showing that there is a recession. Why there is a recession in the world? Because when we want to build a building, let's say with few floors, 5, 4, 6, 7 floors, we cannot put the bricks on the ground as it is. We need to dig a hole in the ground, and in the ground we put columns, the foundation of the building. Yesod de Abba, Yesod de Abba, Yesod of Abba, Abba is Chokhmah, Yesod of wisdom is long and narrow, Tsar ve'arich. So people look at this process of recession. It's not the life we used to have before the corona. Yes, it's not, because there is a building of new era. Like we now, there's a a new land and we need to buy to build a new building, and we cannot put just the bricks on the ground. We have to dig for foundation, and we dig a hole in the ground, and we put pillars to stabilize the building. But when people see the building, they go to the architect or to the company. They want to buy apartment. They don't care. It's a beautiful apartment, windows to the ocean. This is how do you say, flat looking at life, but it's not like this. Every building has its foundation in the ground, and as the hole is deep, so the ray of light is long. So there is no bad in what is happening. It's not what people expected, because people expected to see what they know. It's only a preparation for a future. In generally, we only tend to believe the moment that we see or we experience as absolute. Weinreb also speaks about it. What is happened in the moment, people tend to see, this is it. This is it. I got it. Now this is the time. No, what is happening now has a source in the infinite and is relating. There is all the time correspondence between what is happening and to the infinite. And when people do not look into the sources, when those discussions are happening, they tend to believe only to what they see. And they see nothing is okay, so there's another day, there's another. But once a person is awakened by those texts, we in a way being exposed to a door which is offering us a miraculous glance at life. What is happening, which is called our life, is a living miracle. It's not for granted.
Yes.
And the struggle that you mentioned of Jacob become Israel, the Yod that was in the hill, like struggling in the dust. He was struggling in the dust. The Yod of his name was struggling in the dust, came to be ascended and became to be the beginning of the name Israel. Lirosh, I have a head, meaning the soul is not under the heel in the dust, but the soul, is the beginning of the thought of the holy, blessed, He creating the world. The sages are saying, Israel ala b'machshava tchila. Israel came into thought in the beginning, not Israel. The meaning of Israel is the soul, the wisdom, and this was the beginning, that the soul will govern upon the forces of the body. The nations, by the way, whenever we meet in the Bible, the word the nations is related to the body. The soul, Israel is the soul. This is a code name. Israel in the Bible is a name for the soul. The nations, the forces of the body.
E.T.,
Yes.
And yeah, it is amazing everything that you are saying, and it connect us to this tree of life. Everything makes sense, and I thank you. And I was remembering so many classes about Jacob, because after the struggle he starts to limp, on to walk like only one foot, or in other words, he doesn't have anymore the 2 feet on the ground. One
Excellent.
feet is all one of his foot is always in the air, let's say, or almost in the air, touching only few, right, only little of the ground.
True. True. In a way, one yod from the hill was returning to be Israel, so he can only be with one hill on the ground. Yeah, the yod was taken in the battle. Yeah, you shall
Mm-hmm.
not be called anymore Jacob, Yaakov, you shall be called Israel. So the yod transferred, rose to its place. And then he has only one heel on the ground. This is why he's limping. Because he doesn't live anymore on time. Yaakov is his name when he lives in time and space. Israel is his name when the Bible wants to announce the presence of the tree of life. This is why the Bible says, V'Yisrael ahavet Yosef, and Israel, the tree of life, loved Joseph, not Jacob. Please pay attention. Israel loved Joseph, the tree of life. So, when he struggles with time, his name is Jacob. When he managed to ascend from the struggle, he's Israel. Jacob is also a manifestation of the forces of the body, because also Jacob is the value of two names Elohim. Yes, if we take Elohim, the name Elohim twice, this is what Luria says about it. The name Elohim is manifested, so we have Elohim one, Elohim twice. Each Elohim is 86. Together is 172. Plus the 10 letters, because each Elohim is 5 letters. We have 182, the value of Jacob. So the name Jacob is the value of the name Jacob. 182 is equivalent to twice the name Elohim with their letters. So Jacob is the manifested. When Israel is the potential, is the soul, the hidden soul. Is this understood?
Yes. It is amazing.
This is what Luria does all the time. He opens the words, every word. He takes it, whether it's a name or a noun or a verb, he takes the letters, opens them, and goes inside and inside and inside and inside. This is it. So if we
Every word is infinite, right?
yes, every
It
word
is
is yes, yes. Every
is
word is infinite. Yes, true. True. Just an example. There was a question 2 days ago, and the word gavia, grail, people speak about the Holy Grail. There is a term like this. Is it true?
Mm-hmm.
The
Yes.
Holy Grail. The Grail has a foot. Yes, Grail. We have two kinds of vessels. There is a Grail, which has a foot. Yes, and there's just a cup. Cup. This is a cup. Course. This is a cup. The value of course, cup, is 86, like Elohim, the manifested. The value of Gavia, Grail, I'm not sure that I'm writing it right in English, Gavia, is 85. 85 is the value of the term
Mila.
Milah, word in Hebrew.
And also the form, it is interesting if we draw a line between Hesed, Gevurah, Tiferet, Yesod, and Malchut. It looks like a grail, you know.
Yes.
It looks like that we have this grail if we take this.
Yes, like this?
Yes, like this.
Yes. Now, what happens when we see, let's abstract a scene from a movie. Let's imagine that we see a movie and a couple goes to have a dinner in a certain restaurant and they drink wine in a grail. What is the abstract meaning of having wine in a grail?
A conversation.
A conversation. Yes. True.
And it is interesting if we take this idea about the Milah and also this drawing from the tree of life, right? Uniting the tree of life. And we make this toast, or it makes sense, you know, we are sharing the tree of life. We are sharing it is not about drinking together. It is not about taking alcohol to forget what is happening in the manifested. It is other thing. It is a miracle. It is a joining of souls to the tree of life. But to make this happen, it is needed consciousness and sacredness in the moment. It is not for granted, you know, to access to the tree of life. Just thinking about this.
It is true. It is true. To have, yes, it's not for granted to be able to converse. It takes a lifetime to be.
Yes.
To find the friends, to find the people who are capable of looking inside, like, and share this a secret moment that the heart hosts.
Thank you so much, Eti.
Thank you. Thank you for being
Thank you
with
for
us.
opening.
Thank you so much, and please feel free to write questions and thoughts on Discord. because your
Thank you, Eti.
question, thank you
Yes.
so much. Your questions are moving me, and in a way, they inspire me to create more content and to search for more things that are asked to be spoken. So it helps me a lot when you share your thoughts. Thank you so much.
I thank you, and thank you, Joanne and Venus. Shana Tova to all.
Thank you so much, Anatova. Happy New Year. We shall
Happy
see you
New
here
Year.
tomorrow at the same time. Have a good life, please. Have a good life.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Eti. Have a good life. Bye bye. Shalom, shalom.
Shalom, shalom.